You might recognise this map because I did a previous video on it and I realised I left out some important details which gave really important context to it all. So here I go again. So I'll start with the basics. First of all, shout out to @RomanScotland. If you're interested in Roman Scotland, that kind of thing, go and find them on Twitter. Lots of really interesting information. Okay, what you've got here is a lot of numbers, and these numbers relate to fortifications or evidence of fortifications that have been found in modern day Scotland, and date to, as you can see down there, the sort of end of the 1st century AD, and that's really important to consider. And when I say evidence of fortifications, these can be permanent things and temporary things. So for example, a marching camp that was only a temporary thing whilst the Romans then moved on. So in some ways, these give us sort of footprints of Roman movements around modern day Scotland. In a moment, I'll put some place names, modern place names on here so you can get a bit of perspective to it all. But something that I can't put on here is Hadrian's Wall. Hadrian's Wall would actually be just a bit south of that border. This is an important thing to note because by the early part of the 2nd century AD, Rome was building Hadrian's Wall, and by that point, Rome had reshaped its northern frontier. It had pulled the resources back because it had other challenges and demands elsewhere in the empire. The idea that Rome was beaten out of Scotland, not really the case. It just had other things it needed to do with the men that it had stationed here. These fortifications, or footprints, therefore, represent what was going on in the late 1st century AD. And as I said, I'll give you some names of cities in order to make sense of this. So you have Glasgow, you've got Edinburgh, you've got Aberdeen, and then up by number 1, you've got Elgin. So you can see how far into modern day Scotland Rome went in the 1st century AD, perhaps further than you thought. And if you like this kind of thing, don't forget to click follow.